Hi, welcome back everyone who's with us for this sort of bonus content for those of you that are in the coaching business. I'm back with Tony Scelzo. Hopefully you saw him earlier on the regular program. I wanted to spend a little more time with Tony talking specifically about his coaching model.
Sure.
Because there's some lessons in there for all of us, I think. And so I just got 2 or 3 questions, and I think if those listening will really pay close attention, you'll learn a lot. First, I want to talk quickly about the model that you use. You don't only use a face-to-face model, you use a group coaching model. Talk a little bit about how that history of that and how it works.
Sure, we use Kevin, a group coaching model called Expedition. And what we do is we have developed a 5-person group that is facilitated by a coach. And each one of these groups act as an accountability team for each other, as well as having the coach facilitate that. They actually act as a mastermind group, even a connecting group for the connections that businesses need to grow their business. But what has happened is really 3 things. They get a tremendous amount of feedback on head trash, on marketing, on sales, on ideas that they need to advance their business. They get a tremendous amount of feedback if they haven't done their homework, and that happens. So they're accountable from five people rather than
not just
me
or whoever's the coach.
5, 4 plus me, right? And so that has a significant impact. And they're also getting affirmation for ideas from 4 other people that are peers, not necessarily a coach. It's really easy for people to say, well, that's easy for you. You do that all the time.
Right.
And they don't know we're a plumber's sink and that we have the same problems they do. And so that feedback loop has really kind of catapulted a lot of my clients into a whole nother level. I mean, in a way that is just pretty amazing, that I know it's not about the coach as much as it is about the process and the system that we use, you know?
And so, for those of us that were on the call earlier, and you may not have heard it yet because you weren't able to be here live, but we had Marshall Goldsmith on with us, and he said the big lesson as a coach, his deepest coaching lesson ever is, it's not about me. Yeah. It's not about the coach. It's about the other person. Their decisions, they own the actions.
Yeah.
So, which I think speaks exactly to that.
Sure.
You talk to me about, I think all of us in your business, if you want to be in the coaching business, whatever that looks like, one of the things that I think you've done really well, and a number of reasons why that's the case, but talk to us about how the niching has worked for you and how important that you see that as being.
So, I mean, so important as a coach to know your niche. So important to know who are the people that you can really have transformational conversations with. The businesses that you can have some significant impact in. And, for me, I've really figured out over the last 8 or so years that my best play is somebody who's in that 0 to $500,000 space. The problems, the business development model, the marketing tactics, the sales tactics, the head trash that you got to get through. I've really kind of refined a couple processes and systems and a series of tactics that I could replicate over and over and over. And I've also realized that no one else really wanted them as clients.
So there's a big lesson. So not only was it what you were good at, but you realized from a marketing perspective, you went somewhere where no one else was.
And the barrier really was how to get paid. And once I figured that out, once I figured out a way to monetize that user group, and we have a very unique model for that, it really just took off. And I think a lot of us throw our hats in the coaching circle, and we think that oh, that's all it is. I'm a business coach. Well, the way you coach an executive of a 30, 40, 50, $100 million company, the programs that you're going to ask them to implement, the way you even meet with them is going to be completely different than the way you meet with a 0 to $500,000 player. And so much so that you really understand that guy's not a competitor. He's actually another resource for you. I mean, just today, you referred me that speaking client, which I appreciate, by the way, because it was a better fit for what I do. And when you really understand and know your niche, what you perceive as your competition can be your best resources for new business.
Absolutely. What's one other thing that we can share with people real quickly? We talked about niching. We talked about models a little bit. Can you share anything without going, without me asking, probably too far about your revenue model, because all of us are wondering about thinking about that revenue model stuff. Can you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, our group coaching model is pretty simple. You pay $200 for a seat in a group, and so our bet on the client is that they're going to grow because of our coaching. And what we do is sign a contract with them that says, hey, if you're at $6,000 in sales a month now, when you go to 10, you're going to bump to 300. When you go to 13,000, you're going to bump to 400, and on and on and on. So there's no cap on what we can make, and there's no cap on, but there is enough pain at the bottom
that they do something.
They do something. And I tell you what, Kevin, the conversation when I talk about that pricing model, it so changes because they go, well, you got skin in the game too. Well, you are actually betting on your ability to change my business. And the conversation for you to be able to stay a coach, to have your size 12 up there, you know what? Because you're betting on their win, it's just dynamic.
Well, and then there's an end game to that becomes another set of challenges we don't have time for on this piece. But I want to thank you, Tony, again for your time, not only during the regular broadcast, but also in this time as we give a little extra content to our coaching friends. So everyone, Tony's a really smart guy. If you want to learn more, tell them just about the Rainmaker site, where they can learn, even if they're halfway around the world, they can just get a sense of what you guys do. Where can they go?
GoRainmakers.com. That's our website, and then Expedition.com is our coaching site, and that's spelled XPEDISHON.com.
All right, excellent. Thanks again, Tony. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Went to Michigan State to spell.
Wait a minute. Michigan State? I don't think so.